Andrea Jenkyns. I'm so pleased that we are doing this. We've been trying to fix it for ages.
It's great to be here, Gloria.
Now, you were elected in 2015. Yeah. You defeated Ed Balls. You've always been a big Eurosceptic. You were a big supporter of Boris Johnson's premiership.
Yes.
What is your assessment of how your party is doing in a post-Boris world?
I mean, I come from a family of Eurosceptics. My mum was a massive Eurosceptic, so was my dad. I mean, I'm a Democrat. People voted for Boris, and this is why I've stridently voted and tried to secure Brexit. So I'm a Democrat, and just the way Boris got ousted within our own party, I thought it left a bad taste in our mouths, really. We've seen the knock-on effect with members not being very happy. And I think it's not a good look how we've kept changing prime ministers. I mean, I back Liz. And I just think we've got to get on with the job which Rishi is doing. And I think it's also about trying to instill confidence in the public, because it has been, not the easiest time the last few years.
Do you think Boris Johnson might come back?
I hope he will do one day, definitely. I think he's got more to give, definitely.
Great. So you were a skills minister. You were a minister
Yes.
in the dying days of that Boris Johnson premiership. You were on your way to that resignation speech in number 10. A select few of his key supporters were invited to share.
You're going to mention
that
the finger, aren't you, Gloria?
special moment. I'm going to mention the finger. You gave the middle finger. Yes. Why?
I mean, first of all, I didn't expect to become a minister the next day. It's sod's law, really, isn't it? Yeah. But I've had about 8 death threats over the years, and you really get sick of it. And I saw Steve Bray there. I think everybody knows Steve Bray, the anti-Brexit guy. And he's been hounding me since my little one was in his pram. Even when my little one was in his pram, there with a megaphone shouting, and I've pulled him up on that. And he's just got no respect for anybody. And I just thought, these people have got what they want now. There's all shouting. Boris is resigning, is stepping down. Leave him alone. And I just got sick of this double standards. It's okay for one group of people to treat another group a certain way, but not somebody think, sod you. So I just had enough, yeah.
And it doesn't sound like you regret it.
I don't really, no. I mean, I didn't expect to become a minister the next day. That was unexpected. But no, people should treat people better. And when you've had 6 death threats, nearly 8 death threats, when you've had to get CCTV at your home, you've had people tell you to kill yourself, you just get sick of it, to be honest.
And let's talk about some of those death threats. So in 2019, a person was taken to court for threatening to rip your face off. The year before, you received a threatening and sexually explicit email calling for you to be cut with barbed wire and die.
In my own pool of excrement, yeah.
Last year, a man was arrested for making a threat about you to your local council, I believe. Yes,
what happened was, it was my niece's wedding the next day, so I was in the local hairdressers on the high street getting my hair done, and my team ran in. We phoned the police, the local security guards at the town hall. A man said he's looking for you, he wants to blow you up. And so that's the only time I've ever wanted to quit, Gloria, because I'm quite a tough cookie, being a northerner. You're a tough cookie yourself, and you don't like being pushed into a corner. But when you've got a little one, when you've got a 5-year-old, I was sat in the hairdressers for those 10 minutes waiting for the police to arrive, and I asked the hairdressers whether they had an exit the back door in case I needed to run. And then I was thinking, God, how do I keep them safe? And that's the only moment in politics I've ever wanted to quit. And for a good month or 2, actually, I was thinking, do I quit? Is it really worth it?
Have all the people who made those threats that I just listed...
Well, he got let off. He said it was a joke. And there was another chap who I got 70 emails, a constituent, middle-class guy, beautiful home, own business. So it's not just some loner in his bedroom on a laptop. Calling my child the devil child. It got quite sexual. It got aggressive, telling me to buy a stab vest. And he just got off with a caution. He said, I was bored and I hit the Tories. And I think that is unacceptable. You can't treat people that way.
So, with that in mind, in 2020, 2020, you provided a character reference
Yes.
for the court case of a Conservative Party activist who made violent threats to the Labour MP, Shadow Home Secretary Yvette Cooper. He said, "She will pay. I'm already organising to hurt her." Given what you've just said about how you felt.
I probably got suckered in by him in a way. I really felt sorry for him. He had an awful childhood. He told me how his father committed suicide when he was young, and I really felt for him. And all I'd seen is this good side, really. And I knew he'd had tremendous mental health issues. So I was just saying, can we make sure that he gets the support with the mental health issues? That was the support. I mean, what he did was not acceptable in any walk of life. But I just wanted to ensure, because he needed support with his mental health.
Okay. Something else that I found out when I was doing my research, when you were 18, your dad sent your picture off to a beauty pageant and you made it to the final of Miss UK. What was that like?
Oh my gosh. I mean, I love dressing up like you do, Gloria. I'm very much a girly girl. It was interesting. I remember wearing my bikini with a sarong, walking, and I'm not the most elegant walker, and people was taking it so seriously, and I was just stomping away, on the stage, and I remember one girl was saying she was desperately needing the loo, and she was like, I can't walk out there yet because the judges will see me and I want to make an entrance. I'm like, for God's sake, you need the loo, go to the loo. So it was amazing how people took it so seriously. I just thought it was a bit of a laugh, really.
And we are recording this interview in the week of International Women's Day.
Yeah.
Do you think, with the benefit of hindsight, those things, those beauty pageants, beauty contests, women being judged on their beauty, I mean, they're a relic of the past now, aren't they?
Yeah, but I mean, I don't see any harm in it, to be honest, if that's what people want to do. And I mean, I never celebrate International Women's Day. I mean, with all the trans stuff, I think, we've got to realise what a woman is. But I mean, I remember under Theresa May's time, do you remember when she contacted all MPs and said, find a woman from your constituency and ask her to stand? Well, I tweeted, for true equality, I'm going to bring a bloke. And God, the backlash I got from fellow women colleagues, you're letting women down, all that rubbish. And I thought, sometimes people take themselves too seriously. And I think we're very, very lucky in this country. Yes, there is misogyny around. But I think, look, we've had 3 female prime ministers. Let's focus on the positive in life as well.
Are you a feminist?
No, I'm a meritocrat. I believe whatever, coming from a working class background like yourself as well, I think it's about opportunities for people. And I want the brightest and the best to have the opportunities and to really get somewhere in life and pick the best people for the jobs. I don't care whether the whole cabinet's women, whether the whole men. And I think that, people are people.
And you also have another talent. You are a soprano.
Yes.
Give us...
What, you want me to sing?
Go
oh, gosh, okay.
Let's have a bit.
Right, okay, what shall I sing? Okay, right. God on high, hear my prayer, in my need, you have always been there.
Gosh, God, that really...
Oh, well, thank you.
It sent a shiver down my spine.
I write songs as well. I've got a song, I released an album myself in the early 2000s, and it's called ELIS. It's an acronym for I Love You in Secret. The name came to me in a dream. I've got a song where I sing backwards. So I like quirky songs as well.
Very talented, gosh. You'd be good on a karaoke night.
Maybe we can do it together, Gloria. Yeah.
I don't think I'd put you through that. You are a mum.
Yes.
You have a son with the Conservative MP Jack Lepresti, who you married in 2017. Yes. I'm always fascinated to know how anyone can date and fall in love in Parliament.
Yeah. Well, it can strike in the most unusual places, can't it? Yeah. But I think anybody who's a mum in any walk of life realises it's a juggle, and living 200 miles apart. Now Clifford's school age at 5. You can't go to 2 different schools. That's the juggle, being a mum and trying to be the best mum. I get mummy guilt every day. I adore my little boy. Yeah.
We were supposed to do this interview last year. It had to be delayed. Your mum went to hospital. Your mum died.
Yes.
How are you?
Oh God. To be honest, Gloria, it was the worst time of my life. My mum was my rock. She was amazing. And we found out in November, she was really bizarre behaviour. She had a benign tumour on the brain. And 3 days after, so she was in hospital, 3 days after that, my sister went into a coma unexpectedly and was in a coma and died, had to be resuscitated and come back. And then she was paralysed and I couldn't tell Mum that. And Mum survived an amazing 8.5-hour operation to remove the tumour, but then she got sepsis. And honestly, I didn't feel in my own body at times. It was horrific. Being with Mum the last 36 hours when I was holding her hand, the medication they gave her, which pumps the blood around the main organs. So it pulled it from the extremities, so she started getting necrosis. Her face was going blue, her tongue was going black, and trying to get that image out of my mum's face, it was horrific. Yeah, I mean, my sister, she still can't walk. It's probably the worst time of my life. But I survived it. And the hardest part really was for my little one, Clifford. He's telling him that his nana's died. And he said to me, "Mummy, I know why she died." He said, "When I was 4, I got under her feet and she fell over and hit her head. She's died because of me, Mummy." That was the hardest thing ever explaining to a 5-year-old. It's not you, my darling. Yeah.
It's been such a tough time for you.
It's been horrible, yeah. But other people go through bad stuff as well. But both going through at the same time. That was hard. And it was a really tale of 2 cities, a tale of 2 hospitals. My sister, she lives in Hay-on-Wye and went to Hereford Hospital. She had an amazing treatment. I mean, even the nurse went and got her a KFC a couple of weeks ago because she'd missed it because she'd been in hospital all these months. But my mum, it was awful care. The amount of times I walked in, she was drenched in her own urine, covered in her own food, and I had to change the sheets. And she was covered in sick one time, and it was really a tale of 2 hospitals. It was horrific, Gloria.
I'm sorry you went through.
Thank you.
I'm sorry you went through that. I could talk to you for so much longer.
I could hear as well.
We're almost out of time. Just final question.
Yeah.
It's budget week
Yes.
next week. One call, one thing that you want Jeremy Hunt to say in that budget.
It'd be lower taxes. That affects everybody. And also including corporation tax. You know, post-Brexit Britain, we need to be ready for business, be attractive for investment, which will help the economy.
Andrea Jenkyns, I knew you'd be great. I've loved it.
Ditto, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.